Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with CEO and founder of Golden Cricket, Eli Halpern. He has been self-employed since he was 12 years old and created Golden Cricket from scratch, raising $150,000 in the first 7 months. Golden Cricket is a cricket protein bar utilizing the most nutritious protein sources on the planet. Crickets. Crickets are 65% protein by weight, contain all 9 essential amino acids, and use 2,000 times less water to produce them than whey protein. Along with this, he has been doing stand-up comedy for 7 years and has 2 rap albums on Spotify with over 1 million views. He has been training martial arts 2 hours a day for 3 years. This is a great Renaissance man. Enjoy this interview.
Well, hey, man, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Before we get into your very interesting story, I want to address what we've all lived through for the last 3 years with the pandemic. And I'm curious how you survived the COVID lockdown time period, so to speak, and how it's changed the way that you live your life and conduct business now.
I guess I survived the pandemic by just realizing that everything is completely made up and everyone's full of shit, so I might as well do whatever I want to do all the time.
So let me ask you this. If you were to get in front of a bunch of third graders at a career day and one of the kids looks up at you and asks you, what do you do for a living? How do you answer that child?
I would say that I sell cricket protein bars because they're the most nutritious and sustainable source of protein on the planet.
When you were in the third grade, what was your dream? What did you want to do when you grew up?
Well, I wanted to be a comedian and a musician. I wanted to practice martial arts. And I also do all of those things. An inventor and have my own business where I am innovative and utilize my creativity. So I'm doing everything that I wanted to do as a child.
And you've been self-employed since you're 12. So talk to me a little bit about where you were born and raised and how these seeds got into you to be as motivated and as kind of Renaissance man as you are.
Well, honestly, so I pretty much came into the world with my entire life planned out. I got in a lot of trouble as a kid because I knew what I wanted to do and I just felt like the adults were standing in my way and the teachers and my parents were always, trying to do their job, but, tell me what to do and control me. And my perspective was, I don't want to be anything like any of you guys when I grow up, so why would I listen to you guys? My parents didn't, the way my mom said it, she was like, I don't know where you got this drive from. We didn't have a capitalist bone in our body. They were just both 9-to-5 college graduates. But I realized at a young age that the world was ran and centered around these made-up pieces of paper, money, so I just needed to figure out how to make my own money. And if I didn't, I would have to be listening to my parents and potentially, other authority figures, employers, what have you. So at the age of 12, I started my first eBay store. As soon as I found out that eBay was a thing, I went to the website and I was like, whoa, and immediately just made an account and started selling stuff. I would sell candy and soda at school. And basically, I didn't have the best relationship with my parents. So my goal was to make enough money to where I eventually just cut myself off at the age of 18 and just left home and just cut off my relationship with my parents, and my life just blossomed after that.
So let me ask you this. You didn't, all these people around you didn't want to be what they were, but who was it that you admired or looked up to, or who was a role model that you would listen to growing up?
That's a hard question to answer because I've never really idolized other people. I've always just seen people for being people. I guess the most honest answer to that question is cartoon characters and movie characters. I have always been inspired by the unreal. The reality just never seemed very interesting to me. I never wanted to be like another human. I wanted to be like these characters that didn't exist. I wanted to be superhuman.
Let me ask you this. If you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now, somebody that you admire or look up to, or not even in that way, but just somebody that you would like to spend a little time with, is there somebody alive on the planet you would like to spend time with?
Yeah, there's a lot of people I would want to spend time with. Probably stand-up comedians.
So who would be top on that list?
I've already met a lot of them. Louis C.K. would be up there. It would be interesting to have a conversation with Joe Rogan just because he knows about a lot of the same stuff that I'm interested in.
Yeah, I've been really getting into his show more and more lately. I didn't really, there's so many aspects that go into who he is, and I didn't realize how holistically together and good he is. It's been an interesting ride. For someone that is as highly driven and successful as you are, what is it that gets you out of bed every day? What is it that motivates and drives you through a day to be who you are?
Well, probably the fact that I don't consider myself highly successful. I think I have a lot to do, and I don't think I've gotten very much accomplished. And I enjoy training martial arts a lot. That's generally the first thing on my list. It just feels really good to just see push my limits physically and just see what my body is capable of. And after that, I look forward to doing comedy and making music and connecting with like-minded individuals. I just like being myself, and I look forward to being myself every day and getting to experience life through the lens of this current avatar that I have for the moment.
So I know you say there's a lot of things that you still want to do, but of all of the things that you've done up to this point, different vocations and incarnations and vocations, what are you the proudest of?
I'm very proud of my ability to create with speed, whether it be a comedy routine or a song. With a looper pedal, I can take a bass and a guitar and get on my drum set and make a song in like 10 minutes. I can draw a picture of pretty much anything in like 30 seconds. I created my business in record speed. We just hit a year the other day. I'm just very imaginative and creative, and I get things done really fast. So I'm not necessarily proud of anything that I've done. I'm just proud of the fact that I'm able to do them.
So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into a much younger version of yourself, and you could give some advice to that younger version based on the wisdom that you've gained and the life you've led. What would you tell that young version?
I would say don't drink alcohol and don't party as much, because I did a lot of that, and I'm fully sober now, and I mean, I don't regret all the partying and the intoxication because it was a lot of fun, but it was so much energy taken away from creating.
What's been one of the best fan letters you've ever gotten from the work you've done?
Best what?
Fan letter or client response?
Oh, actually, something sticks out. So my company, Golden Cricket, I make cricket protein bars. Another company, which is pretty much like the main cricket flour manufacturer in the game that has been around the longest, they sent me a DM on Instagram. They emailed me like a paragraph saying, basically, you are the most relatable and interesting voice that I've heard in the insect protein industry in my 12 years in the business, and thank you for existing. And that was from essentially a competitor. So to get to kind of the core and essence of who you are, everyone out there has an idea of who you are, and there's different bubbles of people that are out there, family, friends, clients, colleagues. But you ultimately are in control of your life. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are? That's difficult. I don't really know, man. I'm so many people. I'm so much. I'm everything. and it's fluid. It depends on the day. Sometimes I'll feel more like a businessman. Other times I think at the core, I'm an entertainer. I'm just here to have fun and remind people to not take life too seriously, make people laugh.
Totally noble, man. So, no, go ahead.
Yeah, being a stand-up comedian was really my first dream, and I guess everything else I'm doing is because stand-up comedy is just so hard to break into. So if I had been successful in stand-up comedy, I might not even be doing all these other ventures.
So for anyone out there, Eli, that wants to get involved with your protein bars, learn more about you, anything revolving around your world, where is the best place to go?
You can follow me on Instagram at Cricket Lord MMA, all one word, or YouTube, Eli.Halpern, Halpern. And, of course, you can buy my products at goldencricket.com. And
right on, man.
We'll put a promo code in. What should we use for your podcast?
How about just my last name, Dimino?
All right. Use promo code Dimino for 15% off.
Perfect. I love it. Eli, this has been great, man. Thank you for opening up your world a little bit, and best of luck with everything.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.